Check 1 2. Check check. Check 1 2. Check check. Audio check 1 2 3. everybody. There we go. Now we got the microphone on. Hello, hello. Hopefully everybody's able to hear me okay and see me. Just getting things set up. Got a little bit of a rain delayed, but we're making it work. Found a shelter house here, so able to do the live stream still. Keep into our 4:30 time frame, so we're at now 4:45. Just getting things set up and started. So yeah, here at a park, and you can kind of see I've got a OBSBOT Tail Air right there. You're actually watching me on one. That's why it's able to follow me. So awesome. I see in the comments you can see and hear me. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. Who is that? Hyper MC Hosting. Thank you for putting that on there. Hopefully audio sounds good. Thanks for joining in. So yeah, so you're kind of behind the scenes. I'm just doing a setup of the new OBSBOT Tail Air cameras. So figured I'd got the YoloBox over here, and we'll after I get the other cameras set up, I'll pin it around and you'll be able to see what it looks like and the setup. But right now I'm running off of 100% battery power. So since the OBSBOT Tail Airs are internal batteries, the YoloBox is also an internal battery. Able to run everything wirelessly, and I'm running the YoloBox Pro over a 4G LTE connection. So don't even need internet here at this venue place. Brought my cell phone connection right into the SIM card. So yeah, so put your comments, questions in the chat, and I can see them here on YouTube. But yeah, go ahead, and if you guys are joining over from the OBSBOT community, definitely put in your comments there. I'm gonna make sure that everything's sharing. I shared it all, but we're gonna make sure that, sorry, bear with me here. Yep, that's shared there. And then let's go over to this one. I also shared this on the YOLOLIV user group. So put that there. And I think I have a photography one. So let me go see if I can upload it to there as well. Yeah, I do. Let's go ahead and post it in there. Actually, I don't think I'm allowed to actually post it in there now thinking about it. So yeah, hey, hello. Hello, hello. Where are you joining in from? I'd love to hear from you guys. Where are you guys coming from? Love to know how you found it. So yeah, so this is the OBSBOT Tail Air right now going into a YoloBox Pro. So in the process of getting everything set up. So what we've got is I'm hoping to eventually, let me take you guys around here. It should follow me, but I think that's gonna be the tail end of it. So actually, let me do this. Let me turn off tracking. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold up my hand, and then now we're not tracking. So if I move out of there, yeah, sweet. So I've got the remote. So we can go ahead and move this remote around, and I'm gonna spin you guys around so you can see. So the goal will be is there is this soccer field out here. Hopefully you guys can see the soccer field. So the plan will be is eventually, and actually let's set a preset. So I'm gonna come around here so you guys are gonna see. So what I'll do is I'm gonna get it zoomed in, and then I'll hold the preset button, and that will actually preset the soccer field so we can show more people as more people come in. So let's get this. Let's kind of go, I think right there looks good. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's go preset 3. Sweet, so preset 3 is saved. We're gonna zoom back out, and then we'll bring it back around here to me. And that's a nice wide angle. So let's go ahead and name this preset 2. So all I'm doing is on the remote, just holding that remote. So then what I can do is I can go to preset 3, and you'll notice it zooms in and it spins you guys around. And then I can come back to preset 2, and it'll zoom you back out and back to me. So cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on person tracking with the remote. So now what it's gonna do is it's gonna start tracking me now. I'll zoom in a little bit. It'll bring my head in frame. So yeah, so awesome. Toronto, Canada. Very cool. Thank you for joining in. And who else we got? Ohio, nice. Yeah, your name popped up on the live stream. Yes. So this is the YoloBox Pro, and it has the integrations with YouTube. So any of your guys' chats, I can click on them and bring them right up in the live stream. So it's pretty sweet. So yeah, so let's do this. I've got one camera on right now, obviously, but I actually have hence the name of the title is a multicam setup. So I've actually got another OBSBOT Tail Air right here. So I've got a 150-foot fiber HDMI cable because after the rain, so it's just now starting to rain. It's supposed to stop here at around 5 o'clock, and I actually have a drone pilot coming out to get some aerial shots of the multicam setup. So, but yeah, so with the rain, I'm like, well, I told everybody I was going to be setting up at 4:30, but I'm not setting up the equipment out in the rain. So with that, I figured, well, I guess the next best thing is to set up here in this pavilion house. So if you guys are curious, audio is coming across on the Rode Wireless Go's. So hopefully with me kind of speaking loudly, let me know, give me if the audio sounds good or if I'm clipping it all, I can always bring it down a little bit. So yeah, so if you have questions about the OBSBOT or about the YoloBox, definitely throw it in the comments and I can see those. I'm also recording on the OBSBOT Tail Air. I'm doing a recording in 4K. So the thought behind this is technically you almost get like an ISO feed. So independent video feeds. So right now I'm recording, well, I'm actually recording in the YoloBox at 1080p. We're streaming at 1080p at 3,000 kilobits per second. And then technically I'd have a 4K recording of this because I'm feeding how you're getting the audio as I'm going through the roads wirelessly into the OBSBOT, and then out of the OBSBOT HDMI into the YoloBox is how you're getting that audio right now. So yeah, awesome. Audio sounds good. Great, sweet. So we're gonna get the second camera online. So yeah, so right now I just have the one camera going into the YoloBox Pro. So we got a 150-foot fiber HDMI. And then let me grab, so I built a couple things. So one thing I built for these OBSBOTs, and I guess I should disclaimer, OBSBOT did send me these cameras so for review. So it kind of full disclosure, no money's changing hands, nothing like that. But they did send me these. They're because right now it's a Kickstarter. So if you're watching this after the live, I'll put the link in the description of the video. So, and I'll try to maybe even get it up here on screen. So if you're interested to get access to these, I don't know if anybody's bought these yet, but they're pretty sweet cameras. But yeah, in full disclosure, OBSBOT did send it to me at no cost. They sent me 3 cameras. But what I did is I added on, so I'm gonna turn off person tracking and I'm gonna bring you guys down. So you can see I built this case. So what I've got is, it's basically a Harbor Freight case with some dividers, and then I have the cameras. All 3 cameras go in here, and then the USB to Ethernet adapters for NDI stuff go into there. And then I built these plates. So let me go ahead and get you guys back to preset 2. Hey, look at that. Preset 2 brings you right back. And then person tracking, and we'll zoom that in a little bit. So yeah, so I built these little plates. So what these little plates let me do is it's just like a cheese plate. And then on that cheese plate, I added a HDMI to micro HDMI. So then I'm gonna grab the third. Actually, let's do this. Let's get this second camera up. So we'll have 2 camera views. So let's do that first. But anyway, so this one has that little plate, and then it brings that micro HDMI out of the OBSBOT. So if you don't know about the OBSBOT, not only do they output HDMI, which is how you're seeing this into the YoloBox, they also work as a USB webcam. You can also work with NDI, so network video display stuff. You can actually do NDI over Wi-Fi, so they've got Wi-Fi built in. You can also do with those adapters, and yes, you do have to get the OBSBOT adapters, but you can actually do NDI over Ethernet even with them. So, so anyway, so I'm using HDMI, so I need to, with fiber HDMIs, if you're not familiar, you have a source and a destination. So they are directional. So source is our camera. So we've got the source into there. And then gonna bring this around. Sweet. And then we're gonna bring this guy into HDMI in 2. That's coming up. And we're gonna go ahead and turn on the second OBSBOT. So again, we are 100% battery operated right now. So the OBSBOT has an internal battery, and the YoloBox that's streaming this over a 4G cellular network is also a battery. So we'll actually get a good battery test on both of the OBSBOT and of the YoloBox. So I'm inserting a micro SD card into the OBSBOT just to make sure I get that in there. So let's see, I think this is that OBSBOT number 2? Yes, this is OBSBOT number 2. And let's go ahead and turn on person tracking on that one. So now that one's following me. We can zoom in a little bit on it. So let's go ahead and I'm actually gonna adjust my screen here a little bit. Actually, let's go ahead and get you onto this view. So yeah, so there you go. You guys can see what I see. So this is the YoloBox, and then up here is the OBSBOT. So you can kind of see what I can see. So let's do this. Let's take this one off of person tracking, and then we can go ahead and come into here. It looks like it's getting a little dark. I think it's getting overexposed. So let's bring it back a little bit. Yeah, I like that right there. So let's go ahead and save that as a preset on this camera. So we'll call this preset 1 for this camera. And while I'm in here, I'm gonna tell it to record. So now this camera is now recording an independent feed of 4K to that micro SD card internally. So, okay, so let's see, somebody asked a question. Was wondering about the orange case. Need to build one of those kits. Yeah, so let me go ahead and kick you back over to this camera. So yeah, it's a pretty sweet, I don't know, up in Canada, if you guys have the Harbor Freight. So it's just a Harbor Freight case. It's like a knockoff Pelican case. So it's just a knockoff Pelican case. And then I'll turn off person tracking on camera 3 and bring you down. Oh, person tracking off. So yeah, so it's just like a knockoff Pelican case. And then I used, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's like a plastic signboard. I don't know if I can zoom in close enough on it or not, but it's like a plastic signboard. And then I used cotter clips, and then I lined them with like a rubber padding. So it allows it to just be kind of nice. So it holds everything well. And then I was kind of worried about the OBSBOTs and their gimbals. So I opted to leave, so the OBSBOT Tail Airs come with a nice little like carrying case. So I opted to go ahead and keep them in these because it'll protect that gimbal and kind of keep it nice and neat. So the only downside with that is my little cheese plate that I made, the little adapter plates that have the like HDMI protector, basically is what I'm calling it. The only problem with that is it doesn't fit in the case with this on it. So I do have to remove it on and off, but that is an option. So let's do this. Now that we've got 2 cameras, and hopefully when I switch cameras, I'm gonna make sure the audio stays on. So if I switch cameras, sweet, okay, my audio is staying. So let's do this. We can actually set up in the YoloBox where it can actually start switching between the 2 cameras automatically without me doing anything. So let's say the HDMI 1, we want to stay on that for, let's stay on that for about 30 seconds. Actually, let's do, yeah, 30 seconds. And then we'll switch to this camera only for about like 10 seconds. So if I go ahead and we'll just tell it to loop, sequential, main video source, and start. Okay, so now it's got me on this camera. It's gonna stay on this camera for, it looks like 24 more seconds. And then what it'll do is it will then automatically switch over to this other camera over my shoulder. So, yeah. For those of you that are joining, I will ask, I'm a smaller YouTube channel, but I'd love to get the word out more. So please feel free to share this live stream out to people that you think might like it. I'd like to get some more people in. And there you go, it automatically switched. So that was all automatically. And then if I want, I can go ahead and tell this, oops, I told that camera to go to this camera, and I can tell it to person track. And now when it switches back to that camera, you will see it's got me on that camera. I'm trying to fix my video recording software because it's crashing. My gamer is trying to record. Yeah, I'm assuming OBS. Are you using OBS? So yeah, so now, here in a little bit, it's gonna switch back over to this other camera for about 10 seconds, and then it'll automatically switch over to that one. Yeah, there we go. So 10 seconds on this camera, so I can move around here and you can see me on this one, and then we'll go back to the main feed. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Yes, we're up on that other one. And I've got person tracking off on this one, so I can go ahead and turn person tracking off. Actually, let's turn it back on that one, and we'll go back to this camera, and we'll turn it on that one. Hey, this is pretty sweet. Yes, using OBS. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yep. OBS is pretty cool. I'm a big fan of hardware encoding. That's why I like the YoloBox. I also really like the ATEM. I also have an ATEM Mini Extreme. I really like it. So we're going to go ahead and set up the third camera. We're going to do a multicam, so we're on that one for 10 seconds. And then we're going to come back here in a few more. Now we're back to the main camera. So we can switch it back and forth, and this is without me having to do anything. So let's see, where do we want to put this one? I think we'll go back here with it for now. That looks pretty good. I'm going to get my drink. If you guys have questions about the OBSBOT or about the YoloBox, definitely put it in the comments. Again, we're running off of 100% battery. Both of the OBSBOTs are battery operated. So let's get, I've got another 100-foot HDMI. So let's go ahead and grab that. Actually, you know what? Let's test it out. I've got this guy. So this is just a regular HDMI. So let's go ahead and before we get the other one out, let's see if see how this one works. This is just a regular old HDMI. So what we might try to do is this camera too. We might try to, since it's so close, we'll plug it into there and see what that does. I updated my GPU and it crashes. Yeah. So OBSBOT, OBS is different than OBSBOT cameras. So I always like to point that out. They are a different organization, different company. But yeah, OBS is a good streaming software. It's a pretty decent one. I've used it, but I prefer, like I said, I prefer hardware encoding. So yeah, so we're gonna wait until this switches and it'll get switched to this camera. So now I'm on this one, I'm live on this one. So we'll let that 10-second timer come out and then I'm gonna plug this in. So we may go to a blank screen, but we'll see what happens. So, yep, okay, sweet, now we're back. So I got 30 seconds. Okay, let's see if we can get it done in time. Ooh, there's a bee. Go away, bee. Please don't sting me. And the question is, did we get it switched in time? Oh, there's a bee. No, go away. See what it does. Did it switch and stay? It's thinking about it. It's thinking. And we might switch over to this one. So I've got another OBSBOT here on this one. And hopefully it'll switch automatically. I don't know, since I unplugged this camera and plugged it back in, it may not switch. Actually, let's go back and look. It is not wanting to switch. So let's go ahead and disable auto switch. It's because it lost that source and then plugged that source in. So there we go, done. Auto switch now. Okay, now we're back to switching. So good to know. Did not know that about the YoloBox. Go back to chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this third camera set up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually disable the auto switch. We're going to leave it on one camera for a little bit. So what I've got is, and actually I'm going to tell this one to stop person tracking. So I can do hand gestures. I can hold up my hand. So if I look here, I've got my OBSBOT Tail Air. So you can see there's the micro SD card, the micro HDMI, USB-C on the back. So this is where you can either use it as a webcam, as USB-C, or you can, OBSBOT makes these adapters. So these adapters will take Ethernet, and they are PoE, and they give you USB-C on this side. They are a special adapter, but it gives you a network connection then to your OBSBOT Tail Airs and allows you to use it for NDI, that kind of stuff, network control, all that. So yeah, so you've got your USB-C on the back, and then there's the aux in. So right now, that's how you're hearing me, because I've got the Rode Wireless Go going into that OBSBOT camera. I can zoom in and show you guys that. So let me do this. So if you look here, you can see the Rode wireless going straight into this camera, which then the audio comes out of that, and then it goes into the YoloBox that way. So let's go back to preset 2, preset 3, 1, 1. We'll zoom in a little bit. Okay. So we've got that aux in, and I can give you guys a test of, so there's the internal dual microphones. So I can give you guys a test of that, and then we're back around to the micro SD card and micro HDMI. So I've got my little plate that I made. It's just basically a little full-size HDMI to micro. So then this screws on to, oh, and then the bottom's got the 360 uplink thing, and then the quarter 20 on the bottom. So what I can do, I can go ahead and put that into there, get my little screwdriver. So my thought with this plate is it's just gonna prolong the life of my OBSBOTs, because originally I was hoping to be able to like leave it kind of on the OBSBOT, but this doesn't fit in that case. So I don't know, I may decide to cut the case, but then I'm afraid going in and out of the case, could I then break that connector even more? So I'm not sure, but it is what it is. But at least, so this is how it looks. So I go from that micro HDMI over to a full-sized HDMI, which is then screwed to the plate, which then the plate, here in a second, you'll see, will get screwed to the tripod. So before I go there, let's go and see, how are you powering the cameras for the game? Running off battery or live power? So great question. So right now, everything I'm running right now is all battery. It's 100% battery. The OBSBOT has an internal battery, and the YoloBox also has an internal battery. So, and actually I'm not live streaming a game. I was just, I'm setting up, kind of doing a demo video. So I'm not actually gonna be live streaming a game tonight. This is more of just a proof of concept testing out the OBSBOTs. Since these are still on Kickstarter, like I said, OBSBOT sent these to me to test. So this was just one of the tests I figured would be a great test everybody would like to see, because I could really see these being used as game cameras. So for soccer games, football games, basketball games, that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna bend down. I don't know, the camera may lose me, or I don't know, we'll see. Hey, it found me again. So it did. I dropped a connector. So yeah, so I'm actually not doing a game tonight, but this will be a great test, right? To see how long everything's been powered up. So I've fully charged everything the other night, and when I started the stream, that was when I first turned on this camera. I didn't turn on this camera until I got it up and running. So it'll kind of tell us, based on how long I stream for, we'll know about how long it is gonna be battery-wise. Yeah, but that's how I'm powering it. It's all powered so far right now, all on battery. So all battery powered. All right, I'm gonna switch back to my other camera. So let me go ahead and grab, so I've got the other third one. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna go, oh, I need a micro SD card. So I'm also putting the micro SD cards in all the cameras. So I can, basically I'm internal recording. So the cool thing about the OBSBOTs is they internal record at 4K. So in theory, I could live stream the game over the YoloBox, right? That could go up to YouTube. And then using the internal recordings of the OBSBOTs, I could then do a post-game edit and have it in 4K. So pretty neat universal idea behind that. But it outputs HDMI at 1080p and then records internally at 4K. So I've got micro SD card, I've got this. We'll bring that HDMI around. So let's go over to this stand. So yeah, so any other, a great question about the battery. So any other thoughts, questions? So I'm pretty far away, so I'm actually gonna tell it to zoom in on me. And let's see if I can get it to go in. I think if I give it 2 fingers and I push in, I think that might be all the further it'll go. It is a digital zoom. So they are a digital zoom. Is it tracking me? Yeah, it is tracking me, sweet. So I've just got, these are just like light stands. So, and they've got 1/4-20s on top. We'll angle that way. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one on. They'll boot up. And then I'm actually gonna bring, so I've got the fiber HDMI. Since it's so long, I think I'm actually gonna take it out and around. So with that, let's switch over. I'm trying to see the best way to get you guys a good angle. I think what we'll do is we'll take camera 3, which is this one here, and we're gonna go ahead and make it wide. Nope. There we go. We'll take that wide, and then we'll bring it over like that. And I'm just using the remote right now. Sweet, okay. So I'm gonna leave it on, not on person tracking, and I'm gonna walk around with this cable. So yeah, the other reason I did those plates, the thought behind it is if the, you know, with it being out or somewhere, if anybody were to ever trip over a wire, which you should not have your wires like how they are right now, because it's all temporary. But the thought behind it is potentially it could save the camera and only damage the actual cable itself, or damage the adapter plate wire connector. So I would be setting this up outside at the soccer field, but it decided to rain here in Ohio today. And I told everybody I was doing a live stream today, so I still wanted to stay with that live stream. Still wanted to do it, but the good news is the rain is supposed to stop here at around 5 o'clock. So potentially if it stops at 5, we can get outside and really test it out. So we've got our 3rd camera, so sweet. There's our 3rd one, back there, awesome. And then we can go ahead and, again, a digital zoom. So I can go ahead and go to OBSBOT camera 1 on the remote, can zoom in. I think this one might be cool to just leave kind of like that. Actually, you know what? We'll leave this one as just an overall kind of big zoomed out overall shot. And then, yeah, I like that. Let's go down a little bit maybe. And then we'll leave it. Let's go back to our auto switching. So we've got that done. And we'll do 30 seconds on the main, and then we'll do 5 seconds on the other, and 5 seconds on the overall. And we're gonna go to auto switching. So now we're back to this one. I'm gonna go ahead and tell it to start tracking me. I didn't get my hand in the right spot. There we go, we're tracking. This guy, oh, I see the sun. Let me go ahead and tell this one to start tracking. The sun's coming out. Fingers crossed we can get no rain. And then that one's gonna stay on the overall. So right now you're seeing me on this one. We got about 9 more seconds. And here in a few, we're at this one now. So we're gonna be 5 seconds on this one. And then we're gonna be 5 seconds over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we should be back to the main. Hey, check that out. It's pretty sweet. Okay, we're set up. We're in a multicam, right? I'll be 30 seconds on this one. I could go around, I could start talking. I can move around out here. So let's do this. I'm gonna also set up this one. I'm gonna change that one to not be so quick. So we're gonna say, oh, I gotta disable it to edit. We're gonna go ahead and make that one also 30 seconds. We're gonna go back live. Okay. And then we're gonna take camera 1 back there and we're gonna move it. How do we wanna move it? What do we wanna do with it? Let's get our chat messages back up. Take it out a little bit more that way. There we go. So we're gonna be 5 seconds here, 4, 3, 2, 1, switching. So now we're on this one for 30 seconds. So now I can walk out here, and if I go to camera 3 or 2, I think this one's camera 2, I can zoom you out, right? Because I think that's that one. Yep, perfect. So now you can see me. I can walk all the way over here. It's raining, right? We're out here, it's raining. It's good stuff. So we'll probably be switching off of this camera here in a minute, and then we'll be going over to that other one back there that's kind of our overall shot. And there it is. We'll be on that one for about 5 seconds, a little less, and then we're back to the main. So let's go ahead and go back over to camera 1. Let's tell camera 1 to come over a little bit. Sweet. That's it. That's a multicam setup. I don't know how long we've been streaming. I've been live for 45 minutes. I've been recording for 36 minutes. So while still talking, in 36 minutes, we've got a live stream up and running. I've been total 45 minutes live streaming. And the first thing I started with was getting that YOLO box, getting this guy right here up and running. That was the first thing I did when I got out here. And then after about 2 minutes, got the camera on top. And then after that, started working on setting up the others, getting audio set up, checking out. See if there's any comments. Got driver issues with your computer? Okay. Scrolling up, seeing if I missed anything. I'm curious how many people we've got watching. It looks like I've got 2 people in the comments. So yeah, hopefully some more people will join in. I'd love to answer everybody's questions. I'm really kind of curious what you guys want to know about the OBSBOT Tail Airs. Have you bought one, I guess, is a good question. Have you bought one yet? I will, I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw the, if you have not bought one and you're interested, again, in full disclosure, OBSBOT did send me these cameras at no charge for review. So for me to test out, try doing this exact multicam setup, just seeing how well they work. But no money's been, no money's been traded or exchanged for, the review or anything like that. But I do get to keep the equipment. But that's kind of the full disclosures. So I do have, let me pull up this one. I do have an affiliate link. So let me grab that affiliate link. Copy that. And then I think probably the easiest way to do it will be to go to my channel, turn down my audio so I don't get feedback, and sweet. See if that pops in. Hopefully. I don't know if it'll pop in on the yellow box or not. Hey, it does. Sweet. So if you are interested in an OBSBOT, right? If you're interested in these cameras, this affiliate link is there on screen. So if you are interested in those, yeah, check it out. You can go check out their Kickstarter page if you're thinking about maybe getting one. Somebody posted something. Let's see what it says. White balance is off when you walk outside. would be good. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, let's try. We'll play with the. I got to get the other phone out. A little bit about myself. I'm a cybersecurity instructor. It's kind of my day job. So I like doing this kind of stuff. I'm a geek. So with that, I don't install just random apps on my actual phone, my production phone. And at the time of recording, time of live streaming, since these are still kind of like pre-release, the iOS app is not out yet. And normally, whenever I do my live streaming stuff, pretty much everything I run for any kind of live stream stuff, I do it on an iPad. So right now, as of time of streaming and time of recording, the iOS app is not on, right? It's not working right now. They are still in development with it, getting that taken care of. So right now it is an Android only app, but that's going to be changed. They're bringing out iOS. They're going to be bringing out, I think even a PC control app or something like that. But as of right now, they don't have that out yet. It's only on Android. But anyways, back to what I was saying is I'm a cybersecurity instructor, so I don't just randomly install apps on my production system, my production phone. So I do have an old Android with the app on it. So let me get it booted up and we can, I gotta find the battery. This was an old Nexus phone. And we can adjust the auto white balance and just the auto exposure and all that stuff with the app. So again, really 2 of these are pretty much out of box. So you saw how, I mean, other than I did program, like pair the remote with them. So that obviously was something I did. But really, other than that, I've not messed with at least the 2. The one that's kind of off to the side of me and then the one that you're seeing me right now on the back. Those I've not done anything with. This one here, I have been playing with it, playing with the exposure on it, kind of been playing with the software with really only this one. But the others are pretty much just straight out of the box, not really done anything with. So the goal will be tonight is, I don't know if there's any soccer games here, but even if there are, I'm not going to be live streaming the soccer games. But I'm making a kind of this video about the multicam setup, but I wanted to do a live stream with them too since I'm out here anyways. But I actually have a drone pilot coming out tonight at around 6 o'clock to kind of get some aerial shots. So fingers crossed the rain lets up. The original goal was to set up out in the soccer field. So if I take the first camera I've got, and once it switches over, you'll be able to see it. But we go ahead and put it over to the PTZ. So it's switching right now. So you're seeing me on this one. So the YOLO box that this is all feeding into is automatically doing the video switching. So it'll be on this camera for about 5 seconds, and then you'll see the soccer field here, and there's the soccer field. So that's the soccer field. So eventually I'll move out there and see how that works out. So I can go ahead and bring this camera back around. So that was just using the presets on this one. And then I can go ahead and turn on person tracking. And then I can tell it to zoom in on me. Sweet. So yes, let's see here. Camera, backlight. Yeah, I'm working on it. The phone's booting up, so we'll see. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. I see what you're saying now that I'm seeing it. I can see the white balance is off. So yeah, I mean, it is. So right now, it's kind of hard to see. If I come out here, you might be able to see. It's a really gray, dreary day, but then like now the sun is kind of like starting to come out. If you look back there, you can see the sun starting to come out. So it's like a really weird color. It's not greatest, right? If I was completely outside, it'd probably be fine, but I'm underneath this awning. So it's a little bit different here. And it looks like we've got some people coming in. So they might actually be doing, a sporting event here. I don't know. So we might get interrupted in our live stream. But I think I've pretty much proved the point. I've only been streaming for now 52 minutes, and that was including all the setup of the 3 cameras. So pretty easy, not too hard to do. So let's do this. I've got the app pulled up here. So let's go ahead and connect up to a camera here. So I'm actually on this camera right now. So yeah, it looks like we've got some more people coming in, but let's see what we can do with the exposure. So it looks like we do have some people coming in, but we'll keep going. If they kick us out, we'll get kicked out. But so yeah, so now when it switches back around, let's actually do that. Let's just go ahead and disable auto switching. We'll go back to this camera, and let's go ahead and zoom that camera out just a little bit. Bring it up. So, okay, so I'm adjusting the white balance. So hopefully that'll bring that exposure. And let's actually go look at, I'm wondering if I accidentally have, sorry if the audio is getting loud. They've got roller bags coming across. Let's go to media. Go to settings. White balance. Here we go. Daylight. See how actually cloudy. There we go. There's cloudy. So which one was it that the camera was looking kind of the worst on, I guess? If you can, kind of put in the comments. Which one were you guys saying the camera didn't look the best on? We'll try to play with it. See how that looks. I brightened it up a little bit. Curious to see what you guys think of that. How's that look? Does that look a little better or worse? It's like an eye doctor appointment, right? Better or worse? 1 or 2? Oh, sweet. You pledged for the Kickstarter for the multicam setup. Awesome. Very cool. Looking forward to getting hands on. Yeah, they, so again, in full disclosure, I actually reached out to OBSBOT. I have their OBSBOT Me, and I've been following them. I saw them at NAB. Saw these actually at NAB and was like, hey, look, let's do a collab, right? Let's talk about this. And so yeah. So hopefully that looks a little bit better. Let's go ahead and switch over to, I think this one looks pretty decent. I don't think I'm going to change this camera. I like how that one looks, especially since it's in here in the under the awning. But let's go ahead and grab this one because I think this one does need some work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to disconnect from that camera. Go ahead and hit done. Actually, it's interesting, that first camera that we were watching, so far it's been recording for 47 minutes. So if you're curious. And it's got 58% battery life. So let's see which camera this one is. Let's go cellular, live cam. I'm gonna go ahead and set the remote down. I don't really need the remote. Actually, it looks like I didn't start recording on that back one. Oh, man. Let's go ahead and get this one recording. Okay, now we got this one recording. It hasn't been recording this whole time. All right, so let's see here. Let's get the exposure opened up. I've got person tracking on. And let's see how that looks. So I'm still learning these cameras, still figuring out the smartphone app, right? Figuring out all the controls for it. There's so many settings inside here. You can do manual focus, like obviously I did something wrong there. So yeah, so if you're a camera buff, you can definitely, come in and play with like all these settings. So right now I'm messing with the shutter speeds. So if you know what settings I should do, feel free to put in the comment to let me know, because I am still learning cameras. I know AV, other stuff, electronics, cybersecurity is my day job. So still learning the whole like ISO, stuff like that. So I don't know, looks a little better. So if I come out here in the main light, I can see it on my phone. And hopefully this is what you guys are seeing. Yes, sweet, you guys are seeing me there. So if I go ahead and zoom in using the app, we'll go ahead and do a 4x zoom. So this is a 4x zoom from that YoloBox, or from the OBSBOT. So kind of grainy, really grainy. So let's go ahead and zoom back out. Again, it's a digital zoom. So yeah, so we'll zoom back in here. So we'll come back over, see if anybody's put any comments in there. See what do you guys think of that? Looks a little better. This one still looks pretty good. I think by locking those in, that'll make them look a little bit better. Yeah, picking up the background light. Yep, exactly. Yep, so hopefully by doing some of these, so you can kind of see what it looks like. So I can go in here and I can make all the settings changes and everything from the app. So hopefully that will help it out, make it look a little bit better. So yeah, I'll throw this back up. If you're interested, these are the OBSBOT cameras, OBSBOT Tail Air. They're doing a Kickstarter right now. So if you are interested in them, interested in getting one, this is an affiliate link. So if you're curious about them, you can click it, go check them out, see what you think. Yeah, so let's go ahead and turn that comment off. I guess what else? What other comments do we have? I guess I could give you guys an internal audio sound. So let's do this. Let's kick over to this one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and come into the audio settings, and that'll be HDMI 2. So what I'm gonna do, we've also got a lot of background noise. There's some people over there talking, but it'll be fun. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the Rode. So I've got now the Rode wireless mic right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, and then I'm gonna turn on to the internal audio of this OBSBOT Tail Air, and then I'm gonna walk around to the front because the microphone capsules are on the other side. So we're gonna go microphone off. And now, hopefully I've got the levels okay. So now we are on the OBSBOT. Actually, internal mics are facing this way. So right here, this is audio check of internal microphones of the OBSBOT. Looks like they might be a little loud, a little hot. So let's go ahead and bring those down a couple dB. I don't know, tell me what you guys think in the comments. How's the audio on this guy now? I brought it down in the YoloBox. It's down 11 dB. So let me know in the comments below. Let me know how the internal audio sounds. So curious to hear. So right now, standing in front of it, this is internal audio, built-in microphones. Again, really, you want to have external audio. That's just in my opinion, whenever you're doing any kind of this stuff. But here is a good use case of internal audio for the OBSBOT. Very good. Good to have detail on here. Let's see what this says. Good to have details on gear you're now listing in the description of the video. Yeah, so I'll put everything in the description after the fact of the live stream. This was set up all on the YoloBox, so it's kind of hard to put that in the description. But let me know in the comments, how does the internal audio sound? Curious to see. Does this sound good? Do I need to turn it up, down? I'm watching the levels on the YoloBox, and it seems like they're pretty decent. So yeah, so internal audio facing this one. Let's go ahead and switch over to this other one. So I'm gonna bring the levels down to 8 on that one. So let's see what this does. I'm gonna turn off the audio. And now we brought audio back up on that back one. So let's go to this one. So this is now audio, internal audio on this guy over here. So check 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably about, I don't know, 3, 4 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet. So check 1, 2. Internal audio straight on the center of it. Let's do a check over here. So this is kind of off to the side, but directly in front of one of the microphone capsules. So check 1, 2. And I think I'll tell you what I meant on the YoloBox settings, but I think I'm at like 8. And again, internal audio is all defaults. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to. So we're back on the roads because I know this audio is good sounding. So that one back there, the internal audio was 8.6 dB is where I was at, 8.6, negative 8.6 dB. And then this one off to the side, let's go to it. Turn off the roads. And now we're in this one, and this one is set to negative 11.4 dB, straight onto the capsule, again, about that 5, 6 feet away. And then I'm gonna come off to the side of it. So I'm straight onto this capsule, about 7 or 8 feet away. And then I'm gonna come back completely off the capsule side, since this one's a little bit louder. I'm not directly in front. I'm kind of more in between the back USB-C port and the side aux in. See what that sounds like. So that's internal audio again. And again, our setting is 11.4 on this. Okay, now we're back on this camera one, going back through the roads. So yeah, hopefully you like the audio test. Probably I'll be very interested to review that myself and see how that sounds. Road is good. Yeah, the roads, you can't beat them. The roads are really good. I mean, no offense to the YoloBoxes. I'm really happy to see that they actually put the aux in, right? I was really worried that they weren't going to put an aux port on these when they were talking about them. So I'm really glad they did for exactly this reason. So what I have is I have that going in. If I switch over to this camera, you'll see the roads on me, and then right here is the receiver, and then it goes straight into camera 1. And the nice thing about that, by going into this camera and coming out of this camera's HDMI into the audio from to the YoloBox, is the cool thing about it is, if you notice, my lips are in sync, and then when I come over to this one, my lips will still be in sync, because these cameras, their internal audio processing and their internal HDMI processing is going to be the same. So you're going to not have to worry about lip sync by feeding it through the camera. Now, if I were to take the Rodes and go straight into the aux microphone in on the YoloBox, then I'm going to get a different type of audio. I'm going to get a lip sync out of sync. And actually, I guess that might not be a bad idea. We could test that out and see what that sounds like. I have a feeling it's going to be out of sync, but we could try it. My guess is it'll be a frame or two delayed. So let's do that. So let's take, so you're gonna lose my audio for a second. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it out of the first OBSBOT up here. Actually, you'll then get me on internal audio. Actually, let's see if that switches. That'll be cool. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug it from. All right, that's interesting to know. It does not automatically switch when you unplug it, so that's fine. So we're on that internal audio temporarily. So let's see here, line in. Oh, actually, it's probably mic in. Okay, so now we are microphone in on the YoloBox. So Rode wireless straight into the YoloBox, microphone in. Actually, I need to check my phone. Like I said, I've got a drone pilot coming out today to check anything, to see what's going on. Sorry, let me text him real fast. I'm here, but... I'm here, live streaming. I think we are gonna have to cancel. At least cancel the drone part. At least we got this in. This is pretty cool still. So yeah, so we're going into the mic, what I was saying there. So audio is probably out of sync. I'm really curious to see is, if I go back to here, so for those of you that are in the chat, let me know. I'm talking right now. I have a feeling my lips are going to be out of sync. If you look at it frame by frame, I'm going to go ahead and do a clap test so we can always watch it back later. So here we go, 3, 2, and I'm going to do a couple more. So yeah, so we'll see. I have a feeling that's going to be at least a frame or two out of sync. Get this to start tracking me again. Sweet, okay. So now it's tracking me again. So I'm curious, put it in the comments. I'm gonna move this back because I'm about positive it's gonna be out of sync. So let's go ahead and go to audio. And we're back into, back into the road. Sweet, back onto the road, back into the camera. So yeah, I'll be over then. Wasn't sure. I think the drone. All right, sorry. I've got a drone pilot planning on coming out because originally I was planning on doing this in the soccer field, and this Thursday was really the only day I could schedule. I'm gonna try to get some more stuff out. I wanna try to get this video out that I'm doing about the multicam setup soon. So yeah, so I was hoping to do it out at the, if I kick onto here and I go around to there, actually let me turn off person tracking and I go to there. So today, originally, we were supposed to be out in this soccer field. So I was hoping to be out here and yeah, be live streaming out there. But yeah, it's raining. So I don't know if that's gonna happen. Those presets, I'm glad we set those presets up. That was pretty sweet. So I can pan you around, kick you around, back and forth. So yeah, let me make sure I got the audio looking good. Make sure so I was changing all those settings. So I'm in HDMI, which is the road. Okay, yep, we're looking good. Yeah, so it looks like they're starting to do some practice over here. So probably getting a little bit of audio from them, but shouldn't be too bad. They're the roads are pretty good about noise cancellation or isolation, I guess is the best way to put it. So so yeah, so hopefully the rain stops and we can get outside. I don't know. Kind of looking at the clouds, it doesn't look good. Let me see if I can adjust that. See if I can adjust the white balance on that one, because that's, again, it's a dark, dreary day. It's really kind of hard for these cameras. I mean, really any camera, let alone these. It's one of those days. It's like sunny one minute, dark the next. So it's just a really weird, gross day with the rain. So I think I'm probably going to be connecting back to that. Yeah, connected back to the other camera. Disconnect. So right now what I'm doing is I'm pulling up the OBSBOT app. So there's that camera that's back there behind us. Actually, it's right there. It's right over there. So that was the one it was seeing. So I'm telling it to rescan on these. Come on. Hey, there we go. So just out of curiosity, if you're wanting to know battery life, right? So I've been streaming now. I've been live for an hour and 11 minutes, hour and 12 minutes. And then my actual recording's been just over an hour. I'm an hour and 3 minutes into the recording, which is about this one camera up here. So this one camera is at 50%. So not bad. We're looking at, we'll probably easily get 2.5 hours out of it. So, and that's, not only is it doing video out of its HDMI, but it's also handling the audio because the road's going into it. And it is also internally recording 4K. So it's doing an internal 4K recording. So let me go ahead and connect. I'm going to connect up to this camera over here. So again, I'm just pulling up the app. Here in a couple seconds, it's going to go ahead and connect up. So basically it's establishing a Wi-Fi connection, and then now I'm into it. So let's go here. And actually, that doesn't look too bad. Let's brighten it up a little bit though. It's not too bad. I think that was camera 2 on the remote. It is camera 2 on the remote. So not terrible. Let's actually save that as preset 1. Preset 1. Turn off person tracking. Preset 1. Sweet. All right, B, go away. So yeah, so now we've got that as a little bit better. It's locked in. Let's go ahead and turn that off. So yeah, so let me come out here now. Yeah, it's still raining. Let me go ahead and turn on person tracking. So still raining, but you're seeing me on the OBSBOT here. I don't know. What else do you guys want to see? I can, I don't know. Let's see what this looks like if I bring it on around here. So let's follow me. I'm not using the remote. So the remote, it's right here. It's probably gonna be a little bit brighter now just because I told it to lock out there on that cloudy, dreary day. Again, we're not the best for video here with the light going back and forth. Let's see what this says. Sound levels are better when Rode is connected to the OBSBOT. With the YOLO, maybe some settings needed to be changed to have the same levels. Yeah, for sure. The levels are going to be way off. I balanced the Rode. Technically, the Rode is actually configured for my, so I normally shoot on a Sony ZV-1. So this is normally what I shoot on for a lot of my like kind of vlog style videos. So the Rode is actually configured to go into that, right? And it was really cool because I didn't have to do any settings changes, and it just went straight into the OBSBOT, and it's perfect. So, so yeah, I did not balance that to go into the Rode. So I'd be curious, with the Rode going into the OBSBOT, was it too loud, too quiet? Where was it? Because I have a feeling if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess it was too quiet. I'm guessing it was probably a lot lower and I would need to bump that level up. So if you want, put it in there and I can try to bring it up. Clap is good. 1 or 2 frames maybe not visible to the naked eye. Yeah, I really thought, going HDMI out of these, they seem to be pretty snappy. So it doesn't surprise me it'd be a frame or 2. That's just inherent with any, really, that's gonna be inherent with really any camera going out of HDMI. You're gonna get at least a frame or 2 delay. Your audio is gonna be a lot quicker, especially with the Rodes. Rodes are really good about getting the audio back to the receiver pretty fast. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it would have been at least a frame or 2. So yeah, so we've got over there, there's some baseball players, softball players. No, lip sync is good. Okay, cool, sweet. I'm glad you joined the live stream. I appreciate that. I'm so thankful you did. At least I have somebody on the other end to talk to and to bounce back and forth with this. So thank you. I'm excited for you to get yours. So yeah, you'll love them. I will say, and all that I've been using them, something else I got for them was I bought this. This is like a ground stake. It's meant for like a cell phone. It's meant to like hold your cell phone into the ground. So it's got like a ground stake, and then it's just 1/4-20 little rods. And basically you can hook them on like this, and then you can basically mount a camera. It's meant for like your cell phone. It has like a phone holder, but it basically gives you this, and then you can push this into the ground. You get a 1/4-20 on top. So I bought one of these because I was like, oh man, these cameras are really pretty light. The OBSBOTs, I mean, if you look at it, they're not that big. And sure enough, it worked. I took it. I don't post any pictures of my kid. Again, teaching cybersecurity, I'm really weird with online stuff. But yet, then again, I'm doing a live stream. I know it doesn't make any sense. But so with that, I took it to play around with one of the cameras. I took it to his soccer game and was recording just his soccer game. And it actually, just with this little mount, it was kind of cool because I rolled up to the soccer field with literally this case and this in my pocket. And I had the remote inside here. The remote actually fits. The remote will fit in the case with the OBSBOT. So I literally had this case, this for the mount, stuck it on the other side of the field, and I was recording his little soccer game. So it was really cool for like parents that do want to live stream like their kids' sports. This is literally the setup you would need in your phone. And then the battery life, right? Like it's, so far we've been going an hour and a half almost on this one, and I'm at 50%. So you could easily get into there. Is that what you used for the car derby? Yes. So I also took it to the fair. It was actually this OBSBOT I took, and it actually still has some mud on the back from the cars. But yeah, so I took that to our local fair, and again had this couple of stakes into the ground, and it worked perfect again. And I actually, so they had like the bleachers. We did like the pit area, so they had the bleachers. And then they had like people in their lounge chairs, and then they had the rope like right in the front, right? So then the rope was like the barrier. So before it started, I actually put the OBSBOT in front of the rope. So it was like even closer than the front seat. And I was like really kind of worried. I was like, oh, this could get like hit with a lot of mud, but you know what? It's for the cause, right? Everybody will want to see it. So I put it straight there, and I had made sure the microphones were facing the cars. But dumb me, I didn't think about the audio. I should have cranked the audio way down so it wouldn't clip. So I didn't think about it when I did it, and the audio was just clipping. But that was my fault. I didn't configure it properly, right? Like I should have brought the audio literally all the way down. Because those cars, it's so loud. Like we have the earmuffs for my kid, and it's just super loud. So yeah, so the audio didn't turn out, but it was really cool to see the video. And again, that was, I literally had just taken it out of the box, paired the remote, and that was it. And then I started to like, I realized kind of halfway through that again, the white balance was a little bit off like it is today. So I had to adjust that. And I think that's something OBSBOT can fix in firmware. Again, these are pre-production, pre-release kind of things. You know, that white balance stuff, that's all configuration. So I think their auto white balance will get better and better as they do firmware, but I don't know. But I mean, you can see here, this one, I've locked it in now with the app and it's perfect. So. Yeah, but yeah, these are pretty neat, so. So yeah, let's see where the drone pilot guy is at. See if he's texted me. He did text, sweet, okay. It's raining really bad now, so if I switch over to, let's go ahead and go to camera 3, soccer field. So you can see it's really starting to come down now. It's raining. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get to go outside. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. So yeah, so I guess, is there anything else you want to see? Since I've got them out, I'm hooked up, I don't really know what else to talk about. I've done an audio test, internal audio, going out to an external input, played with the remote, auto tracking. I don't know anything else to try out. Anything you want to see? I'll go over this way and you can see some baseball, softball. Are you looking for an outlet? I tested earlier. There was one in the guy's bathroom that was technically working. Oh, yeah, okay. So yeah, it looks like softball's setting up out here. I'm interested. This one seems like it's actually capturing me lower. I wonder if, let me go ahead and unlock this. Go back over to here. So I wonder if I bring this, I feel like there's a way to tell it framing. I forget how to do that. I think it was maybe this. Oh, where was that? There was an option to tell the OBSBOT where to do the framing. I think I have to actually turn off person tracking. So let's see if that's it. And then, nope, let's turn tracking back on. Okay, maybe it was here. Ah, yeah, here we go. So what I can do is I've got wide, auto. Oh, that's actually really cool. I didn't know about that. So in the director thing, I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but it actually saves a picture of the position 1. That's actually pretty cool. So I could click on that picture and then it actually then goes live to that. That's super cool. Okay, so I'm gonna tell it to start tracking me again. Okay, bring it back around. And then it goes back to the picture. That's pretty neat. Okay, let's try this. Let's go half body. So now it should be zoomed in on me half body. And then I can go back. There was a way, I know there was. I remember seeing it. And it was something like framing. Maybe it's the AI thing. AI, wide half, framing. Here we go. Sweet. So then I can get me more into the frame. So this is like it's a framing offset. So then I can put myself kind of right in the middle of the frame and a little bit higher because I'd prefer a little bit higher. Sweet. All right, cool. So now if I come around here, you can still get the sky. That's what I was going for. I wanted to be able to get the sky. I didn't really care about the ground. So yeah, so I'm getting wet right now, so I don't really like this. I'm gonna go back over here. And it actually keeps up with me pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed with how quick it turns around. Let's see here. I was making sure the drone pilot hasn't texted yet, but I really don't think we are gonna be getting outside to the soccer field. Get a close-up on the grass with rain droplets. Okay, I can try. Let's see here. So that is zoomed in as far as that camera will go. So I don't know if that's what you want to see. Let me get that comment off of there. So I don't know if that tells you what you want to know. If I go down any further, you're actually going to see the bottom of the camera. So yeah, so we'll go back to the preset. So I'll come around to this one. So what you're seeing is I'm here. I'm on the YoloBox. Right here is the YoloBox, the OBSBOT Tail Air, and then I've got another OBSBOT Tail Air, and then you're watching me on an OBSBOT Tail Air. So if I come over to this one now, so I'm back onto here. So this camera. How does it do on zooming? Like outfield the home plate. So great question. They are digital zoom. So kind of take it at that. So let's do this. I think that's camera 2. Let's see if that's camera 2. Yes, so this one's camera 2. So I'm gonna tell it to start tracking me. So what I can do is I can come out here And I want to try to get a spot where, I really want to try not to get like, there's people out here. So I really don't want to try to get people in frame. So let's do this. Let me switch over to this other camera. Let's go that route. So I can switch to this camera. So that's camera 1. And we can do, actually shoot, I should have saved, let me save that as a preset. So let's go preset 1 on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So right here, so I am at the pavilion. So let's count it out, right? Let's count our steps. So I'll come all the way back here to the camera. So I'm right at the camera. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this is about 22 steps out. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in. I've got the remote. I'm gonna zoom all the way in on me. So hopefully you're seeing me as far as zoomed in as possible. And that was about, I think, 20 steps. And again, the Rode wireless back to there. So the microphone's not actually that internal mic. It's actually going back to the Rode. So yeah, so how did that look? Actually, I don't think you saw me. I was over there. Let me try that again. So yeah, you didn't see me. It zoomed into the way wrong area. So, yeah, so when I was 20 steps, hopefully you're gonna see me here. This was 20 steps. So this is where I was at 20 steps. So yeah, take it at that. Again, we're dropping that 4K sensor down to 1080p to do the HDMI out. So what my plan is kind of after the fact is, since these are all recording internally at that 4K, I'll actually be able to post some of this live stream kind of remixed in 4K. Because I'm kind of doing an independent recording, almost like I'm ISO recording. So right now I'm recording into the YoloBox, right? So I've got the YoloBox recording the HDMI out of all these at 1080p. But then not only that, is the camera outputting HDMI at 1080p, it's also recording internally onto the SD card at 4K. So kind of there. Great, thank you. Yeah, hopefully that helps, right? I'm curious, what do you think? I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing. So how did that look? Because this is kind of the first time I've really hooked it up to the YoloBox. So literally I've been streaming now for about an hour and a half. I've been kind of on air for an hour and 20 minutes. Again, completely battery powered. So the YoloBox is run on a battery. I've got 64% on the YoloBox. And then the OBSBOTs are battery powered right now. This was my first OBSBOT, and I'm right now, according to the LEDs, I'm 2 out of the 4. So I'm roughly at about 50%, between 50 and 25%. So yeah, so let me know, you said that looked good. Let me know what you thought. I'm curious to hear. Wireless options. So wireless options, what do you mean wireless options? I'm assuming you're talking about maybe wireless mics or wireless video, I don't know. Let me make sure the drone pilot. I've got a drone pilot coming out to do originally. For those of you that are joining in a little later, the plan was to be out in a soccer field live streaming this setup, but that didn't work out. The rain had other plans for us, but I still wanted to do this live stream. So I'm setting up here in a pavilion underneath the awning so I'm not getting wet. So wireless options, I'm curious to know what you want to know about that. If you're talking about like wireless HDMI, I don't know. I would honestly, so these OBSBOTs will do NDI. So really, I would look at doing NDI, whether you do NDI over the wireless, because they do have Wi-Fi built into them, or you could do, I've got one out right here. So you could use one of these. These are the special OBSBOT USB-C to Ethernet adapters. So you could actually do a hardwired Ethernet line. You could do 100 meters on Cat5, so that's 325 feet. You could technically do this and go out in a baseball field, whatever, and not do wireless. I'm not a big fan of wireless. I try to avoid wireless at all costs. So what I did actually is, for the soccer field, what my plan is I've got these. So these are fiber HDMI. So basically it's HDMI over fiber, and it's 150 foot of HDMI. So basically I can go 150 foot one direction, and then I have another one. I can go 150 foot in the other direction, and then have my like main YOLO box and this setup in the middle. So technically I could cover like 300 feet of ground. So actually this camera that you're seeing me on right now is actually running through, you can kind of see it balled up right here. It's actually running through that 150 foot HDMI cord. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on there. Bear with me here, I got a text coming in. Let's see if it's... All right, so not the drone pilot. I don't know if he's coming out. So hopefully it stops raining. So yeah, so it looks like I'm a little bit behind. So let's see what we got here. What SD cards are you using? Model storage. I'm a big fan of SanDisk. Hashtag not sponsored, but hey, SanDisk, you want to sponsor me? Talk to me about it, right? Yeah, so huge fan of SanDisks. Let me see here. I've got in this one, I actually don't do over 128 gig SanDisks. So this is it. I don't know how well that's going to actually pick up. Yeah, it doesn't really like that. So let's see. Let me tell this to stop tracking. I always forget. I got to hold my hand right up to my face. So let's see if I do this and then get that. I don't know. This really isn't meant for macro shots, but I don't know if that showed up. But it's a SanDisk Extreme Plus 128 gig V3 A2 U3. So there you go. But yeah, I like the 128 gig. I really don't like, at most I would ever do as a 256, but I prefer actually having the 128s because my thought is a 128 at 4K will get you around, I think about 2 hours of recording. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Well, I can actually pull up the OBSBOT and see what the app says, how long it'll record on that. But I like that because if you were to get an SD card corruption, really you got to either charge or swap batteries on your camera at that point. So my thought is if you're going to swap batteries, at least like I use mainly the Sony ZV-1. So if I'm going to have to swap batteries on my Sony ZV-1, at that time I'll also swap an SD card. And then that way, if I did have an SD card corruption, I wouldn't lose all my footage. I would only lose a little bit of it. So that's why I like those. And I've gotten good luck with SanDisks. Not bad. It's a digital zoom. Close is nice and sharp. Yeah, really, it really is. When you're zoomed out like this, it's beautiful. The picture is 4K, nice and clean and crisp. Actually, I'll turn on person tracking now because I noticed it's not on me. Again, I always forget. I got to hold my hand right next to my face. I always try to put it in front of my face. But yeah, so person tracking at 4K, you know, when zoomed out, it looks great. I really wish they'd have put an optical zoom in it, but they did a digital zoom. But what I think they could do, they have their ND filters, and I want to actually message OBSBOT about it. I think what would be cool is they've got their ND filters, and I wasn't able to get some of those to try out. So hopefully they might send me some to try. But what my thought is with those, it'd be really cool if they did a like 2x or 4x lens that you could slap on the front and it would just automatically zoom it in optically to that. I think that would be super sweet. I've got to actually take this, so I'm actually going to mute the microphone for a second. This is the drone pilot coming in. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take that call. He's coming in. So yeah, we're probably gonna have to wrap up the live stream. So far we've been streaming for an hour and 40 minutes. Again, all off 100% battery. So we've got battery up here on the OBSBOT, on the YoloBox. The YoloBox is at 60% battery, so not bad, right? We're at an hour and a half, hour 40. Because it says I've been live for an hour and 40, so I started a little bit earlier. So yeah, so not too bad actually. So let's get back to the comments. Sorry about that. I had to take that call. Not bad storage. That was where I left off. Not a bad digital. Yeah, the zoom's pretty decent. Like I said, for hopefully maybe OBSBOT could, like I said, do that optical lens, almost like an ND filter, but it would just punch in like 2x or 4x. Because I think like if you were doing like this, like if I come around here, right? Like if I was doing this baseball field and I had one at home plate and I had one, you know, kind of down on the edge, I think it'd be super cool to have one further out. And I just always know I want a tighter shot. You know, I know this camera is going to be stationary. It's going to be further back. There's a B, but I want it to be punched in. I could throw on a 2X lens or a 4X lens and then get that optical clarification. I don't know. I think it'd be something to neat. Hopefully maybe OBSBOT will take that feedback and do something with it. Ooh, geez. Scared the crap out of me. So yeah, so NDI over wireless. Yes, so these will do NDI over wireless. I have not tested that. I have NDI licenses to try it out. So maybe sometime I will do an NDI. But I'm a big fan of hardware encoding. I don't like using a computer for encoding. And with NDI, really you got to use like OBS. Or you'd have to use something like a BirdDog, and I don't have a BirdDog NDI receiver or player. So yeah, so it's definitely something on my radar, and I may try it with OBS, but I'm a big fan of hardware encoding. So that's why I like the YoloBox. I also use an ATEM Extreme. I much prefer doing hardware encoding, hardware recording, that kind of stuff. We can't always use wired connections for cameras. Yeah, I know, that's true. You could also look at like some kind of a wireless HDMI solution personally. But really NDI, I mean, yes, you've got NDI on these. By the time you'd buy like a Hollyland Mars, like the Mars like 400 thing, I think is what it is, or 300, something like that. I don't know the exact model number. But by the time you'd buy something like that, really you'd be better off to just buy a, like a BirdDog NDI receiver. Because again, I like going that hardware encoding side. You know, I would do something like that and just pull that HDMI out of that from NDI wireless from the cameras into my hardware encoding. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can get one of those, get one on hands-on and try that out. So yeah, we've been streaming for hour and 45 minutes, but I've actually been recording for an hour 33. So we're coming up on a little over an hour and a half live stream. And I see my drone pilot's actually walking up right now. So I think we're gonna end the live stream here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off. Yeah, hopefully you guys like it. I'll go back to this camera here. So that was that camera there. We'll come back to this one. And then, yeah, so this is the soccer field. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the rain's gonna hold off. We can move the cameras out in the soccer field and get a drone shot of how it looks, you know, with these set up in the soccer field, kind of going that round. But I do appreciate you guys joining in. It was pretty fun to show you guys the OBSBOTs, set them up live on a live stream. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm Eli, the electronics guy. If you're really interested in the OBSBOT cameras, let me pull this up here. I've got an affiliate link. So if you are interested in getting the OBSBOT cameras, right now they're live on Kickstarter. So I'd recommend going and checking that out. This is an affiliate link. If you don't want to use it, just Google it. You could find it on Kickstarter, OBSBOT Tail Airs. But yeah, check them out. They're pretty neat. So that's what we've been doing this whole recording with, has been these and then going into a YoloBox Pro. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for joining in. I appreciate it. I'm Eli, the electronics guy. We'll see you guys.